Immunology is basically the study of science that deals with our immune response. Immune response means ability of the body to fight against one particular kind of disease or different type of disease. That is what is coming under immunity. So immunology study about immunity and what are the organs connected with immunity, how that system of immunity is working, or for which we call as the immune response. Basically, we have two types of immunity. One is innate immunity, and second one is known by the name adaptive immunity. So the basic difference between innate immunity and the adaptive immunity is that there is an innate immunity. It is present in your body right from the time of your birth. When a baby is born, the baby is capable of fighting against certain type of responses, certain type of diseases, and that is known by the name innate immunity. That is present in you. But there is another type of immunity which will occur later in your life. For example, the best example is chickenpox. If once when chickenpox virus first enter your body, you will be developing chickenpox. But if the same virus is again entering in your body, your reaction will be far mild. So the second time your body has acquired an immunity, and that kind of immunity is known as an adaptive immunity. So here the innate immunity is providing first line of defense. First line of defense means when an organism is entering your body, there are some antibodies and different types of cells in your blood that are fighting with that organism, that disease causing organism called bacteria or virus. So that kind of immunity, that is why it is known as a first line of defense. It is like in our border area, we have border security forces. When somebody is coming into Indian territory, these are the first people who are fighting. If they are failing, the next line of defense, our army and other divisions will be coming into picture. Same like that, this is the first line of defense, and they are non-specific. Non-specific means they are not specific against any particular type of virus. They will fight against all kinds of virus. So in the use of the second line of defense, mostly, for example, there will be an antibody against corona. That antibody will be fighting only against coronavirus. It won't be fighting against chickenpox virus or another type of flu virus. So that kind of nature is known as a specific antibody. But in case of innate immunity, there is no such specificity. They are generally fighting with all disease-causing organisms like any kind of virus or any kind of bacteria, and does not require prior encounter with a microbe. That is, microbe means microorganism or a disease-causing virus or a bacteria. So only in the use of the second type immunity known by the name adaptive immunity, as I already told you, only if a chickenpox virus enter your body is developing an immunity against that virus. But this is not the case in the use of innate immunity. Without any previous encounter, without any previous experience or previous entry of that disease causing microorganism, the body has the capacity to fight against that disease. So that is known by the name innate immunity. Now, what is another few more peculiarities of innate immunity is mentioned here. In case of innate immunity, you can see that they are exerting their effect mainly by different types of mechanism. One is physical barrier is an important. For example, our skin is acting as a physical barrier. That physical, then the presence of hair in our nose, because then no hair in our nose can prevent entry of dust and many other bacteria. Then similarly, chemical barriers are there. For example, the pH of our saliva, the pH of, for example, if you go to the intestine or stomach, the pH inside the stomach is around 2.5 or 3. It is very highly concentrated, just like the pH of highly concentrated acidic hydrochloric acid. So that acidic pH is acting as a barrier. Then there are a lot of proteins are present in your blood, and they are acting in the form of complement system. We will be studying what is a complement system later. Then there are interferons. Interferons are actually certain type of proteins that has a capacity to fight against virus. Then similarly different inflammatory mediate like histamine. So all these are proteins present in your blood. They are also helping in fighting against diseases. That is why they are known as, they are all part of the innate immunity. They are always in the form of protein. Then different type of cells are there, different type of WBC. Most of the WBC are capable of capturing a virus or a bacteria and eating it. So these are the different type of both most of them are capable of phagocytosis. Then there is another type of cell NK cell. So innate immunity has a lot of components. Some are in the form of cells, some are in the form of proteins, some are physically presence of chemicals or presence of a physical barrier. Then what is the acute immunity, otherwise known by the name adaptive immunity? As I told you, in the case of adaptive immunity, this is acquired by your body at a later stage. Best example is the case of chickenpox virus, because you are not naturally immune to chickenpox. Only if you get a chickenpox virus once, you are developing that immunity. So this is developed by your body or evolved in your body at a later stage. Then it is specific. For example, the immunity against chickenpox virus may not work against coronavirus. So what is specific for one virus may not be effective against another virus. So that is that feature is known by the specificity of a virus. That it has a lag phase. Lag phase means now in the use of corona or in the use of any virus, during the initial entry, our body will be recognizing that particular chickenpox virus or a coronavirus. Then the body needs some time, because at the time of entry, the body may not be having sufficient number of fighting antibodies or fighting cells. But after a period of 5 to 10 days, sometimes 15 days, sometimes 1 month, body will be slowly developing the required type of antibody or required type of cells to fight against that virus. And during that initial phase, the body will be showing most of the symptoms and our fighting capacity will be minimum. But after a period of 1 week, 2 week, 3 week, the body will be increasing the number of antibodies and also different types of cells, and body will be having a better fighting capacity. So that initial phase during which the disease is the virus is producing most of the symptom is known by the name lag phase. Lag means a slow phase of response. Then immunological memory. That is, as in the case of coronavirus or in the case of chickenpox virus, once that virus enter your body, our body has a capacity to remember that even after the corona or chickenpox has gone from your body, the body will be still holding some kind of particular antibodies in your blood. Next time what happens is that if the same virus enter your body, these antibodies will immediately multiply. So that it is so immediately multiply and produce a very quick and faster response. So this is known by the immunological memory. Once a virus enter your body, certain antibodies will be developing in your body that will be remaining in your blood throughout your life. So next time when the same virus is entering your body, the virus will be multiplying at a faster rate and producing a quicker response. And this is known by the name immunological memory. Now in case of adaptive immunity, we have different types of cells are the humoral immunity is one type. Most of the time humoral immunity is mediated by antibodies. Then there are certain particular types of cells called cell mediated immunity. Different types of WBC are there, like T cells, B cells are there. And see here you can say B cells and T cell. B cell is actually WBC, which are undergoing its maturation in bone marrow. T cell is also a WBC, which is undergoing its maturation in thymus gland. So that is why T lymphocyte and B lymphocyte, simply T cell and B cell. So the acute immunity, otherwise known by the name adaptive immunity, is giving that fighting ability, giving that fighting response by using this substance, either by using WBC or by using antibodies. So this is the mechanism. In the case of primary innate immunity, they are using certain natural defensive, like our skin, the presence of chemicals. So these are the structures which are used by the innate immunity. Now regarding adaptive immunity or acquired immunity, mostly they are fighting with the help of WBC or antibodies. Here you can find the different type of mechanism that we can find in the use of an adaptive immunity as well as in the use of an innate immunity. The basic difference is that one is a specific, adaptive immunity is highly specific, innate immunity is not specific. So this is the basic difference between the two and how both are supporting the body in a different way. So you can also see that the difference of different types of acute immunity in our next class. So today we don't have more time, we will stop here.